Thank you very much, and thank you for coming today to hear this update on Banyan Gold in Zurich. You can see our project site here in this image, and you're looking in this area at 6.2 million ounces. That was our resource update this year. If you look in the photograph, you can see there's a road that goes right through the middle of the image. There's also the main power line that goes right to the hydroelectric dam that's only 50 kilometers away. So roads, green power already on the property. That cleared square in the center, that's Victoria Gold's substation that serves that mine. This power line was just reconstructed in January of 2021 and has twice the capacity to what it's currently energized at. So what exceptional infrastructure to have in a project. Most times you have to build a power line, never mind have one that already has capacity across the property. There's even cell phone service here. You'll also notice from this topography, there's no rivers or lakes, there's no big mountains, there's no glaciers. It's pretty moderate topography, and I think you'll see when I show you what the deposit looked like, the mineralization starts right on surface. So lots of advantages, but particularly infrastructure and topography are huge advantages for our project. I'm going to show you a little video. We're located right next to Victoria Gold, new heap leach mine. Targeted to produce 200,000 ounces per year. Hecla purchased Alexco right beside us. But this is all part of this new Tombstone Tintina. People are using various names depending on how much of it they encompass. With Snowline and their fabulous discovery out to the east, Sitka and us, Victoria Gold, their Raven deposit. We can stand in our Thompson Creek camp and watch the lights of their drills just across the valley where you probably noticed they put out some fabulous high-grade results recently, showing this as a district. Our discovery was made in 2019. We have 173 square kilometers. We've still only explored 5% of our main land package at Ormac, but with our Nitra property off to the west, we have 300 square kilometers, so lots of upside potential for us to continue to explore. We've been very focused on developing this resource, which we have in 3 pits. Our airstrip deposit, which is what we found first, our power line deposit, which is now our largest deposit, just under 4 million ounces, and Oryx Hill. So we put out this resource in the spring, and then we drilled another 25,000 meters, adding ounces. We've connected Powerline and Oryx Hill with the results that we've already put out this year. We've drilled additional ounces in Powerline, extending some of the mineralization to depth. We know that this deposit is still open, so we can add ounces to it. We extended it also to the east at Oryx Hill. And lots of excitement from just continuing to grow this resource from 6 million ounces. It's a sheeted vein system, very similar to these intrusion-related deposits that are part of the belt. Key difference is that we're still in the metasediments. We haven't found our intrusion yet, so more to come as we continue to explore, but very similar style of mineralization as both Snowline and Victoria Gold. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot. 6.2 million ounces. We're above that critical 5 million ounces, which you need to be a tier 1 with lots of exploration targets. Our team has a track record of success. We put together this resource for just around $7 per ounce in exploration costs. We have fabulous shareholders, and importantly, we have a strong treasury to see us through 2024. Location and infrastructure, when you're looking at building and permitting projects, that can't be underestimated. Just the cost, the implications for the cost and your ability to permit a project. We are in a jurisdiction where there have been 2 mines permitted recently. We're in a part of Canada that has settled land claims, so we have 1 First Nation that has a settled land claim, which is pretty important for the permitting progress and potential. We're year-round. People think of the Yukon and they think seasonal. Well, with roads and infrastructure, you can operate in this jurisdiction year-round, and that's very important. We've seen that we can drill throughout the winter, which will be important for advancing this project. And of course, the 2 mines beside us both operate year-round. We're funded for 2024 for both exploration and metallurgy, which we'll be doing. Here's just another view of that belt that we're in. And if you were to draw a circle of 50 kilometers around us now, we'd already have 18 million ounces in gold equivalent ounces. That's pretty significant. I think we'll see a lot of excitement as people are drawn to this area as more discoveries are made. Our team, we most recently added Kai Woloshin, who's our VP of Project Development. This is really important as we start to move towards the next phases of this of moving Ormac forward, both on the baseline environmental as well as the technical studies, which we'll be undertaking in the coming years. James Tom is still on the team. He's really the one who's credited with putting together the geological model that was part of our success from 2019. And Brad Thrall, metallurgist, he was part of the building Brewery Creek in the Yukon, which was the first heap leach mine, as well as Alexco next door to us, but certainly brings us a wealth of knowledge and experience from everything from metallurgy through permitting. Now, as I said, we benefit from a strong treasury. It's just around $8 million in the bank today. Puts us in a very good position. We have great shareholder base, Victoria Gold at 11.3%, and Cisco Development at 4%, Franklin Gold and Precious Metals at 9.8%, Fidelity at 7.4%, but again, another 31% in institutional shareholders, which, that really has served us well. You'll notice our last financings, there's been no warrants, so we have no warrants outstanding. I'm a 4% shareholder, and I'm the third CEO of this company, so I've had to buy my position in the market, and any option I've exercised, I've held. So that means that I have over $1.5 million in the last couple of years alone. So I'm pretty heavily vested to make my money alongside my shareholders. And as we heard from Ron's talk this morning, patience is pretty important in investing in these markets. And thankfully, with a strong treasury, we have the ability to advance this project, add lots of value, while we watch for the market to start to appreciate junior gold mining stocks. And, our share price is still doing fairly well. Cormark and Paradigm give us some great price targets, and I encourage you to take a look at their research. Operating in Canada's north, you need to really be cognizant of your ESG. We've done a great job in maintaining both our social and our environmental records and our communication with the community. I won't belabor this right now, but it's something that we believe in very strongly and has positioned this company very well. One of the things I'm particularly proud of is the charity that I've run for the last 13 years now, 100% volunteer. Actually, long before I became the CEO of Banyan, I was running this charity, working with Victoria Gold, First Nations and schools all across the Yukon. Pretty soon we'll have announced that we've given out over $2.2 million, $1.85 million to date, funded over 200 projects in the Yukon. So that's something that means I'm very well known in the Yukon, working with First Nations and communities. Here you can see that another image of that resource. The orange is the outline of the pit. The yellow dots are results that we've released from this year, showing that we've added ounces connecting Powerline and Oryx Hill. We deepened an area of Powerline, the southern part of Powerline there, which when we made the original discovery, we'd only drilled 100 meters deep. We knew that there was some high grade there, which likely was part of what would be our phase 1 mining pit. So wanted to go back and capture that. And then the red dots are where we've both tested for some edges as well as expanded the resource to the east and to the north at Powerline. Here you can see the deposit. It's a sheeted vein system. The concentrations of veins are roughly horizontal. The purple is the highest grade, and you can see there's considerable amount of higher grade right near surface and some good intercepts. We do believe that there is some consistent areas of higher grade, and we can see that in a resource sensitivity table as well. We picked a cutoff grade, so we got 6.2 million ounces of 0.61, somewhat a lookalike for the resource next door at Victoria Gold. But if we'd have picked a 0.5, you can see across the deposits we would have had 4.5 million ounces at 0.95. So some of the work that we're doing this winter is looking at some of the higher cutoff grades. Does the deposit hang together? Doing some modeling, understanding how that higher grade would be done, combined with some high-level engineering to kind of combine that with how you'd actually potentially mine this deposit. And that will really inform the exploration that we do over the next coming years and help us understand how that higher grade's occurring. So we spent $10 million this year in our program. We achieved all of our objectives, primarily, connecting out Oryx Hill and Powerline. We also did some exciting regional exploration for the first time, soils and rocks across the rest of that 300 square kilometers. Those results will be coming, which puts us in a great position going into 2024. We committed to doing a robust metallurgical program. That is underway. Our initial results showed that this is amenable to cyanide. We got the 90% average recovery on bottle rolls on pulp, so fine grade. And then talking to corporates and our shareholders and understanding this deposit, we decided that we really needed to look at the full range of options for this project, from flotation through mill and CIL and CIP, as well as heap leaching. So we committed to come out with flow sheets showing what the potential options are for mining this project. We're working on that. It's well underway, and we are already planning a phase 2 for 2024, as we're very encouraged by what we're finding. We've got the right team, making sure we're talking to experts who can help us make sure that we really can communicate the excitement about the pathways forward for this project. Another huge advantage that we have in this project is that we have a wealth of background data, which, seems it can't be underestimated how important it is to have background data to go into permitting. The Yukon permitting process, if you have all of that, you can start the process and you can be through it and into construction in 4 to 5 years. That's what Victoria Gold did, and they did also change their feasibility study in permitting. So if you can go into a project, go into permitting with a solid project that doesn't change, in this part of the Yukon, it is possible to navigate this permitting process in a very reasonable time period for a first world country. So back in 2001, we had all the baseline data from both Hecla and Victoria Gold's mine sites, and both of them actually, their wildlife and some of their other baseline studies actually cover our property. And we have all that data. So we did a gap analysis in 2001, and we've been doing our own background data collection since then, which gives us a huge advantage. I don't believe there's any other project held by a junior that could be permitted more quickly than ours. We're in a pretty unique spot, being the 5th largest resource at 6.2 million ounces in North America, with the potential for that to go up the curve as we continue to add ounces. We have got a pretty compelling valuation at the present time, about $10 per ounce. Makes us a pretty good value at the present time. It's been a very short journey. I became the CEO of Banyan in 2016. We acquired this property in 2017. There was no resource on it. In 2019, we made our discovery at Powerline, and we put out our first resource of 900,000 ounces in 2020. And then, 40,000 meters later, by 2022, drilling through COVID, we came out with 4 million ounces, and then by 2023, now 6.2 million ounces. So very rapid growth. We're continuing to advance and de-risk Ormac, delivering value for our shareholders. So pretty exciting. I think we're well positioned for this market. There are not very many projects like us over 5 million ounces in a tier 1 location with exceptional infrastructure. We have 2 mines right beside us, both who are likely wanting to grow. Both of them outbid each other, or we're bidding on attack. So we know they're both interested in other gold projects in the region. Our valuation is very compelling right now, and we have a strong treasury to see us into 2024 to continue to add value. We'll have lots of information for our shareholders with the results of our program from this year, a regional exploration, that metallurgy, which really will show that we've de-risked this project in what is a very exciting jurisdiction. Lots of attention coming to the Yukon from the new discoveries and investments by majors. That will be very good for Banyan shareholders as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tara. We have time for maybe one question, if there's any questions in the audience. If not, Tara, thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.